module really has, how can I say, most of the grades you're going to see by the end of the module. But one option that we have is that you have partial grades according to your comments. Remember the comments you're doing to your classmates, that's participation. So that was something I wanted to remind you. And another one will be your oral presentations. That will be part of your project grade. So you will have those partial grades, and therefore I wanted to remind you that to pay attention to those issues. So according to housekeeping, always we are always keeping this fresh in our minds to see the agreements. Every class, by the end, we have the agreements. I post them to Educandos. Then if there are new materials, and there was new material for you to develop the comments to your classmates. So that is in week four, yes. Then you have to check if there are new forums. For the moment, you needed to rewrite the postings for week 1 and 3 forums. And I am going to provide you with a feedback and assessment this weekend on these 2 forums. And you have the example, but we're going to revise that again. Then portfolios. Remember, you need to keep portfolios updated. And always revise the materials because we're always adding something new. And there are explanations. So the PowerPoints really have everything, all the updates, the explanations, and the video, of course, that we do together. And more girls are coming. And there was a mistake here. I wanted to call your attention. I was checking the lesson plan again. And this will be the organization of the presentations. So Daniela, Camila, Barbara, and Javiera are presenting today. And then we have Eileen and Kate. And Liselda and Genesis. And this day, 20th of October, we will have the revision for the midterm. And after that, we don't have classes. So we have autonomous work on the following week. And then we have the midterm. Therefore, the last presentation of this group will be on November 10th. And then we will start again to complete the other 5 standards. November is a full month. It's a full month. And then we know December is a month in which we will have lots of presentations. You will have to finish a portfolio. So December is a month in which we will meet only to catch up with presentations, but probably we won't have classes anymore. It will be just for you to present and do optional tests and all these other final tests. Okay, so that is that in regards housekeeping for this moment. Then we have the presentation. So we have the girls present today. Welcome, girls. Welcome to everyone. I'm glad to see you. Is Liselda okay? I haven't seen her for a while. Is she sick or anything? Do you know anything about her?
I don't know. Yesterday I talked with he and yeah, with you,
with her.
With her, and I don't know anything more. She's okay, but I don't know.
Okay. I was just wondering whether she was sick or she needed anything. So we will have the presentation. We have two groups presenting. Camila is coming. Okay, so we have Daniela and Camila. We will be presenting first, Barbara and Javiera Labraña then. And we will have, remember, a moment to interact or ask questions. Okay, so girls, all yours. Who's going to be co-host? Okay, Camille, Daniela or Camila?
Mm-hmm.
Who is going to be co-host? Do you want, I need to share the screen with you. Tengo que ser la hospedadora. For your presentation. Camila, okay.
No,
Daniela, la Dani.
Daniela. Okay,
Sí.
okay, Daniela. All right. Okay. No, that's not this. I did wrong. Daniela, okay. Okay. Yes, Daniela, you are on.
Okay. Can you see my presentation?
Yes, yes, you can.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. Camila,
Okay.
start, please.
Okay, good. Welcome.
Empiezo. Yeah.
Yes.
Good morning, teacher and classmate. Today with my partner, I'm going to talk about the standard one, and I show you a activity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, introduction. The following presentation aims to deepen about pedagogical standard one through a brief review of it, personal reflection, and the creation of an activity in which the correct implementation of it can be observed. Ok, el estándar 1. Conoce a los estudiantes de educación básica y sabe cómo aprender. Se trata de que el profesor o profesora conoce las características de los estudiantes en términos personales, ya sean sociales o culturales. Sabe cómo aprenden e identifica las características cognitivas, biológicas, afectivas y de los procesos de desarrollo que pueden intervenir en el aprendizaje. Y sabe que estas características presentan de manera muy diversa dentro de un mismo grupo. Actúa en concordancia con la convivencia de que todos y cada uno de los estudiantes puedan comprender y alcanzar las metas que el sistema educativo establece para ello. Tienen conciencia de la complejidad del ejercicio profesional y de la necesidad de estar preparado para tomar permanentemente decisiones pedagógicas apropiadas al contexto. Okay, personal reflection. The standard one mainly focused on the soft skill of the teacher, emphasizing his analytical skill and testing his continuous work during the observation of his students. This standard invites as a future teacher to work hard to know each characteristic of our students. And for this reason, the teachers plan his work with the conviction that all his students will be able to understand and participate in the learning process, and for that he used the appropriate resources and methods to ensure that this is accomplished.
Okay. The activity using standard one. The following activity aims to demonstrate the correct compliance with standard one. Since it prioritizes the recognition and use of words through the implementation of visual support, language, and difficulty according to their age, emphasizing group work and providing suitable tools for the optimal development of the learning process. Well, before the activity, we must first know Eat is take food by mouth, especially solid food. Chewing and swallowing it so that it passes into the stomach. You can see the picture.
What is it? To eat. Yeah.
Yes. Now, drink is take a liquid by your mouth. Now, to develop the following activity, you must, following the activity, match the image with the corresponding action. Eat or drink. Then you must complete the sentences with the image that you think is most appropriate according to the context of what was expressed. To write the correctly, support the words writing under the images. Look.
Okay, so we have to match. So now we have to match.
Yes, this is the activity.
Okay.
In
So
here
which-
you can see of the better way. Now, you must match the picture with the correct word. In here you can see the picture and match with the words correct.
With the correct verb, the correct
Yes.
action. So,
Eat
okay.
or drink. And then you can complete the sentence with the correct words. For example, in the first sentence says the fruit I prefer to eat is. In here exists only one fruit. It's
Banana.
the banana.
Yeah. Excellent.
In the second sentences says I love to eat with vegetable for lunch. And here for
Something with vegetables. Which food with vegetables
yes.
do you eat? Okay.
In this case, say chicken.
Yes, so the girls can participate. Yeah, come on. Come on, the class. Okay. Another sentence? Who wants to participate? Barbara?
In here, I need the help for the classmates, please.
Yes, exactly. Okay, number 3, Barbara, do you want to do it? I prefer to drink.
Or
Yes.
Javiera, Araceli.
Yes, I'm calling everyone by the list.
No, Pari.
Okay,
Camila,
come on.
can you?
Camila or Javiera, anyone. Come on, girls.
Maybe
Okay.
Yes.
I prefer to drink milk without cereals.
Yes,
Okay,
correct.
excellent.
Yes. In
Okay,
other sentences,
Genesis.
Or Araceli, I don't know.
Okay. Okay, Araceli, everyone is calling you. We want to listen to your voice. My favorite.
Bárbara.
Yeah, anyone can participate. Help the girls.
I like eat milk with cookies. I don't know.
My favorite snack is eating.
My favorite snack is
Is
eating
eating.
cookies.
yes.
Yes.
Excellent. Javier.
Excellent. Yes. I prefer to drink. The last one.
Yes. The last one is 5. I prefer to drink not coffee. Tea. Okay.
Tea. Yes.
Excellent. Thank you.
Excellent.
Thanks.
Now, activity analysis. At first glance, the previous activity is striking in the eyes of the student to whom we want to direct the exercise. Use simple and understandable language for the children aged 7 to 8 years old. It has visual support that is complemented by written words, which enhances and support the content learning process. It's made to be worked in pairs, working writing and oral skills with power. Concluding, the pedagogical standards guides us a future teacher towards the correct exercise when exercising our professional role. Standard 1 helps us focus on soft skills, which lets us to look beyond our students' grades. It invited us to interact in an integral way with our children and to build from our teacher role with diversity and flexibility and capacity for reconstruction. It is pertinent that from our role as teacher in training, we focus on these essential guidelines. Since this way, we can train in a comprehensive and diversified way.
Yes, excellent, girls.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
attention
you.
and participation.
Yes, thank you for the presentation. So then you will send the presentation and I will create a folder with all the presentations there for the classmates to have access. Remember that you have to keep on discussing and reading, understanding and discussing about the standards, since you will be tested on a national test about this knowledge. And that's why we are enforcing them in our modules. Okay, thank you, girls. Now we have standard 2. Who is going to be co-host? We have Barbara and Javiera Labraña.
Me, teacher, please.
Okay. All right. Okay. No. Let's keep on doing this wrong. Oh, okay. Is this yours? Okay. Wonderful. Okay, you're on, girls.
Javi, are you here?
Yes.
Yes, are you there? Okay. Okay. Get set, go. You're ready. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Good morning, me. Good morning, classmates. Today we will present about the pedagogical standard 2.
Estándar 2. Está preparado para promover el desarrollo personal y social de los estudiantes. El futuro profesor o profesora comprende la importancia de educar en valores y está preparado para formar a estudiantes responsables, íntegros, que cuidan de sí mismos, de su entorno y del medio ambiente. Comprende el rol del docente como modelo y la relevancia de su actuación para la comunidad escolar. Está preparado para resolver problemáticas emergentes tales como educación sexual, prevención en el uso de drogas, bullying y acoso mediante la web, en el marco de un enfoque a nivel de escuela y su proyecto educativo institucional, para proporcionar experiencias para el aprendizaje de valores.
Great. And then we have in English as well, so thank you for translating.
Yes.
Okay.
Since the Ministry of Education, they say that the teacher, he understands the importance of educating in values and is prepared to train responsible children with integrity who take care of themselves, their environment, and the environment. It understands the role of the teacher as a model and the relevance of their performance for the school community. And inside of the class, the teacher can do for develop this standard, that the focus is that the student will develop uh, develop values, develop a positive
Attitude.
aspect for uh, be a good, good component in the life. Good will the student uh, will be agent of change inside of the society. The teacher can do is stipulate rules of conduct that create a pleasant atmosphere. Uh, the teacher promotes respect among students, use the names of the student to refer to them, not nicknames, promote recycling through various strategies. For example, use recycled paper, dividing beings,
Refillable.
refillable markers,
Markers.
and use recycled bottles. Teacher encourage acceptance of ourselves and observe strengths and weaknesses and works around them.
Okay.
The activity.
Mhm.
The students will be shown a video on climate change. There are lists of environmental problems on the classboard. In mixed group, each student will be given a series of phases to form sentence so that they can order and give their idea about possible solutions with the intention that a discuss is generated between them. Together, they will make a list with 10 possible solutions and they will expose them to the course. The best solution will be chosen to be implemented within the class.
And here you can see the step for develop this class. First, they see the video, then they can see in the
The
whiteboard, yeah,
Mhm.
at least. Then they will the teacher
Provides.
provide of a list um, where the sentence that help for develop their ideas, uh, for give your opinion. For example, I don't know if you can see that in the list have uh, say
Agreement and disagreement.
mhm,
Statements for agreement and disagreement. Yes,
yeah,
excellent.
Yes.
yeah, and then they expose their idea.
Excellent.
In front
Wonderful.
of the
The
course.
classroom. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yes.
and here I we make
That's nice.
a infografia for share to us. If you want this infografia for know more about the standard 2, you can send me your email and I send you the infografia. Mhm.
Okay, okay. But you will send me anyway, so that we
Yeah.
have
Mhm.
the complete collection of work. So this is great, girls. I like this infographic a lot. It's a great idea. It's a good idea to communicate information in a brief way, colorful way. And that would be a good idea that you could implement probably next year when we have practicum, English practicum, and the idea of recycling with students in schools.
Mhm.
That would be great. Okay, excellent. Any questions for the girls? Hello, girls.
We are open to the question, please.
Is there any questions? I think it's very clear. Uh,
No, teacher is very clear.
yeah, it is very clear. Remember that
Yes.
you're reflecting in both languages, in Spanish and in English. That gives you a lot of richness. And also, whenever you go to schools, you will see the applicability of it. And so your reflection will change at that moment when you are in the situation of applying the standards in a real setting. So hopefully we will be able to have that experience. Okay, girls, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. This
Thank
is a very
you.
important standard. So this standard is fundamental, you know, to keep work in peace and life, a good atmosphere in the classrooms and in the schools, and keeping that environment, which we do not pay attention to so much, unless there are great disasters. And is a way in which all teachers, no matter which area, collaborate in schools. So this idea that you can collaborate probably with a teacher of biology or with a Spanish language teacher, and do work together is also a great door for you to interact with other colleagues. And last semester we saw how important it was that the standards prepare you for, as future teachers, for the work, for collaborative work in schools. And that's why I think this standard is so important in that way. It's the work of the whole community. It's not only within the classroom, but the whole community. And that's a good reflection as well. Well, coming back to our module, we will always remember the evaluations I was talking about at the beginning. Remember that final participation grade will be ready in December, but you will have partial grades according to your participation in the forums. I will explain again. Last Tuesday was a little bit cut short because of problems with internet connection. But now I hope we will do it again together. We will read together again what is expected, so that you can redo all of your comments to your classmates. And this coming weekend, I will start providing you with personal partial grades. As I said, all of these grades will be later on added, and so we will do an average of all these grades, partial grades, and that will be your final grade in participation. I know it is not such an important amount of percentage of the final grade, but it is important to prepare you for all of the other tasks, since your portfolio is an important grade, and it depends on how much also you reflect and you write, you read, write, listen. So I thought probably also writing a little bit more elaborated comments to your classmates would help you support all of the other tasks that you're doing. When talking about oral, the project here on top is will provide you with this oral section of your grade, and the activities you prepare for every week will provide us with this section of oral presentation, creativity, and this performance section of your grade as future teachers, that you know according to the checklist that I uploaded. And you will also receive this as part of your future project grade, which will also be the final grade of which will be seen in December. That's why I say, just because of the characteristics of this module, there are not many partial grades that are important as a whole, but you will have partial grades along the semester that you have to take care of, so that they amount to the real final grade by the end of the semester. And then we will have the midterm. For the midterm, we will be revising on the 20th of October. And you will have a week to prepare, and it will be done online. So we will talk about that later. Okay, so that in regards upcoming evaluations, and you know, since because of the characteristics, you need to be doing a little bit every week. And sometimes that is what is difficult, since we find it difficult to organize. So it's a little bit of forum participation, it's a little bit in preparing for the activities and exposition, and it's a little bit by accomplishing the tasks, so the tasks more specifically go to your portfolio final version, which if you leave for December, it will be a mountain, and it will be so very difficult to accomplish. Then the project, the group project, is also done little by little. And if you see again the lesson plan with the color coding I added in each week, and I repeat them in the presentation, you will see that it is a work of every day, a little bit every day or every week, to think how are you going to fill in this project with this class that you need to design. And therefore, as I say, every week is a little bit of work towards a final end that needs to be completed. According to forum participation, I saw the need of revising again, and I hope technology accompanies us, because you had this very short explanation, but it was a complete explanation, since what I need you to write is a complete comment to classmates' posts. And if you go, we will go step by step in everything that is here in bold. But if you go to the rubrics uploaded on Educandos, you will see that each of the sections of this message in bold are developed there. And that's why you need to pay attention to all of the elements and to write a complete comment that is good in quality. Probably you're not counting word by word, but you are counting that you have included all of the aspects. And this is what we are developing here. And this is what I explained last Tuesday. And there is a Word document was uploaded last week as well, week 4, for you to have the example. So whenever we talk about conceptual knowledge, each of your postings to your classmates, okay? So we know that the postings have 2 sections. One section is your post, with the section of your task that you're posting, your creativity is there. I will evaluate that in your portfolio. And then you have a comment to a classmate. Yes, Barbara.
We can't see your screen.
Ah, okay. Sorry, sorry. I thought you. Sorry. Okay, so before I was talking about the modules evaluations, which you have here. We talked about participation and project, the oral, the preparation of every week. And then we have the midterm. I explained the portfolio and the project. So portfolio and final project is a work that you do little by little, week by week. You add one activity or another, so that they don't amount to a big amount of work by the end of the year. Then this was the description of the forum participation. And as I was saying, the forum participation, when I grade you, you have one section that is your section, your task section, that is your creativity, that shows your creative work. And that is one side, and it will be later evaluated in the portfolio. Yes, because in the portfolio, you have everything. You have the whole task, the section of your pre-reading, pre-watching, your analysis of watching and reading, and your production. And that production is represents your creativity, the creative part of your task. So that is what you upload, but then there is a person commenting on that, and that person, and you yourself will comment on another, yourselves will comment on another, you have to follow this description. So your post, each thing I post to Barbara needs to have these sections. I cannot write only one sentence. Oh, well done, Barbara. I like the activity you created for standard 2. No, that's not what I am asking for. I am asking for complete posts that include elements of conceptual knowledge. So I need to write in this comment at the least 2 paragraphs in which I show I know the concept. So in this case, my example was on task-based learning. That's something we revised last semester. Do you remember about that? So this person is writing, well, it can be on any topic, if it is on standard 2, on task-based, on communicative language teaching, on every task. You need to write your knowledge of this. It's not only the activity you propose for task-based learning is great, full stop. No, no, no. I need to see in a paragraph that you know what you're saying, that you understand the topic, the concept. Is that clear so far?
Yes, Miss.
Yes, Miss.
Okay. So the activity you proposed is clearly structured as a task-based learning. 1. The activity proposes students to solve the task about choosing a place to spend holidays. The task involves an authentic use of language rather than answering questions and completing language exercises about grammar or vocabulary. So there, if I say in these sentences, by writing these sentences, I show that I know that task-based uses language in an authentic situation, and they propose different exercises from just answering questions. Okay, so I know the base, I know the theory of this method. Then your students will surely get engaged in using English and work collaboratively with their classmates. I know that collaboration is also part of task-based, so I have to mention it there. Thus, this activity will help them build confidence with language and social situations and support their L2 learning process. Okay, so I am being very positive and evaluative, a little bit evaluative, but it's not your task to be evaluating your classmates, but showing you know, yes, I know what you're doing is right because you have these elements and I know them. So to Barbara, we can say, yes, I know, Barbara, that your activity for standard 2 is correct because standard 2 proposes the creation of the creation of a good environment of learning and support and respect, and an activity on recycling is very appropriate because, and you show that you know that you read the standard and you know the vocabulary, you know what it's talking about, not only the vocabulary but also the concepts. Okay, the second section is your opinion, and you're saying something about opinion. You're saying that the activity is a good one and is helpful. You're already giving hints that you're positive towards this, and your opinion is going to be positive. So 2 personal opinions, and I can have 1 paragraph, 3, 4 sentences in which I show my opinions. So I really like that the task created involves the use of media to create a presentation. It shows that the present task involves instances to communicate meaning by means of real messages. So I'm still talking a little bit about task face, the real messages, and I add something else. I value here that that this activity involves media. So that's something positive, and I'm giving my opinion. Students will be required to exchange information they have for that piece of information they don't have, and this is part of the theory of task-based. So in my opinion, this selection was very appropriate. I think that the present task also offers students the opportunity to choose how to participate in the task. And this is also something that belongs to a task-based in the sense that students use the language in a real, in authentic situations. They also exchange information, and they can be free to choose a way to participate. So all of these also involve, so all of these ideas, together with my opinion, indicate that I know the method. And that is something that is very important, and it is in the rubric. So the personal opinion is a synthesis of personal ideas and conceptual knowledge. So my idea is not based on nothing, it's based on my knowledge of the concept. So this is a good activity. I think this activity is good because it shows the basis of this method. And the activity that Barbara showed us is appropriate because it followed the essence of the standard. And I know that one. And I have to mention that. So, and I give my opinion that this task can be more challenging because if students have freedom to choose their participation, then it could be more difficult to manage, we can say. So those are my opinions. It's good, but this freedom can be challenging. And the final version, the final 2 paragraphs or 1 paragraph refers to suggestions. It's not that we're looking for mistakes or flaws, but we are just showing our understanding and our ideas that we can help our classmates improve. And this is what we're doing here. So we include 2 suggestions, which also expresses synthesis of personal ideas and conceptual knowledge. If I do not know the concept, I cannot give you a suggestion. So I need to know, by writing all of these sections, I need to see you know the topic. You know what you're talking about. And that's why I need at the least 4 or 5 paragraphs. And in that way, I say, okay, this is the 10% of your participation. Yes, so you know what you're doing. You have the opportunity to express yourselves orally in the class, but also in writing in the forum. And this is the way we have to participate. We are not in face-to-face classes for 3 hours, participating actively as it was understood before that participation was. So this last part will be something like, I would like to offer you some suggestions for you to consider improving the order of participation of students so that all of them have an opportunity to participate actively and equally. Once students have completed the task and have shared the information they have gathered, you could start the review stage. And this is also my knowledge, my conceptual knowledge of the methods. Yes? Review stage is a part of task-based approach, learning. In this stage, I would suggest to propose peer reviews. However, if you notice an error common to many students, a teacher-led delayed correction is also useful. So I suggest her to check mistakes that are common to all students and make corrections in groups if that is something positive. If not, they can just check in general. So these 2 suggestions also refer to my knowledge of the method. So in this stage is when corrections are made and great reviews are made. And the all other stages of task-based, students work more freely. Okay. So all of your classmates need to receive your comments. So I'm going to evaluate you in your comments. So I will evaluate Barbara. One thing is that she posts. Okay, check. And her comments to 2 classmates. And to have that check, I need to confirm that she has all of the stages in her post. And I say, okay, this is a check. This person has the complete grade. And so all of your classmates need to have at least 1 comment, at the least. So I wanted to tell me if you understand this new explanation, and you have the example here, and you also have the example on Educandos in a form of a Word document. Is that okay? Does everyone understand?
Yes, Miss.
Okay. So I hope that you have time. Forums are open. You have time. Revise what you have written. It doesn't matter. Next to that comment, you write a new comment. Your new comment in the new format. Remember, you have 2 forums. Yes, 2 forums. So now I want to share my the screen. So you have 2 forums. Okay. This one. Okay. So now you will be. No, it's not this one. I need you to see Educandos. Okay. Let me check. So Educandos, now here is Educandos. I will tell you. So week 1, this is the forum, communicative language teaching. I will be working there during the weekend. And week 3, the forum, communicative language teaching task 2. Okay. And so you're working on both of them. And then week 4, I will explain about week 4, the work you have there. Okay, if we understand so far, we're going to revise last task, which was task 3, I think, task 3. Yes, week 4, developing listening and speaking activities for children. And there was an implementation of the previous knowledge concepts that we had gathered from communicative language teaching, and the central ideas of communicative language teaching, but now applied to listening and speaking. And therefore, you needed to remember something about the silent period, which you did a lot last semester you talked about and you wrote about that a lot. But there is something I want you to tell me. How do you think, how much does the silent period impact on the development of receptive versus productive language? Does it impact? Do you understand the question? What did you write in that question? Girls, anyone?
I remember the you need that we give our answer
Yes.
about this. Okay.
Yes.
I remember that the silent period. How long is dura? No, yeah,
Yes.
6 months, and
6
it's when
months.
the student only read the for not only read, but first the student read and don't make any sound about
Any
the
sound.
language that he
Yes, it's
he
learning.
yeah.
Is learning or is hearing. Yes, exactly. So it's a moment in which you only develop your cognitive processes
Yes.
and you develop your receptive skills. And that makes, for example, receptive skills to be much more developed in a way than the productive skills. And I think the silent period can at a certain point impact a little bit productive language, because it also depends on how much input you receive during that silent period. Here in schools, imagine if a class of if the English class once a week is the only input students receive, then this silent period is going to be impacted by that amount of English they receive. And so that can eventually impact their productive skills development in the long run. And then you needed to write 10 things you need to think about when planning an activity for elementary school students. And now we have, for example, Daniela and Camila preparing an activity for elementary, like as if they were elementary school students, or just resembling how would you prepare an elementary school student, an activity for elementary school students respecting standard 1, showing that you know your students. But what do you think? Yes, one thing is to know your student. What other thing do you need to know, to think about before planning the activity? So you know the students and you know how they learn. And what else? One more idea. One idea each, if you can. Araceli?
I think that the objective, the activity,
Yes, the objective of the activity. Yes, excellent. You need to know the objective, how the students learn. Yes.
should be
Then,
motivation for the students.
yes, exactly. How to motivate students. Yes, everything should be motivating. And so we know that students learn by motivation, learn by visual support that the girls offered us, which is the objective. What else? Which other previous knowledge do you need?
Strategy to teach.
Yes, strategies to teach. Yes, and something we also talked about last class. Something that we need to know is a vocabulary. Also, something basic. What does the students know? And so for Daniela and Camila analyzed that this activity they were preparing was good for students that knew that vocabulary first. So they knew the strategies, they knew how students learn, they knew how to motivate students, call their attention, but also knew about students' previous knowledge. And the students, they prepare the activity for new vocabulary, for example, and they had the literacy level developed in such a way so as to read these materials and be able to participate. Okay, so your last task, asked you to think of an activity and think of the prior knowledge, skills, and attitudes that your students need. And we did one together. For example, the total physical response here in this video. We said that the students needed to know specific vocabulary, the specific situation they were in. They were in class and they needed to stand up, to walk, to move around, yes, the whole situation. They needed to have developed listening skills, receptive skills, a little bit of speaking, if repeating words, and the attitude positive attitude to do the movement, to move around, to follow instructions. You need a positive attitude. Okay, one more example, one more activity in which we analyze here the prior knowledge, skills, and attitude. Anyone, we can analyze anyone just to see you understood the exercise. For example, which activity? Presentation. Come on. Which activity would you like to analyze? Come on, if you haven't completed, this is good for you to complete the task. One idea. Activity. Presentation. Okay, we can analyze the presentation of today.
I think in debates, but no, because yeah, they debates, but they develop
yeah.
the speaking, but not the listening.
Okay. We
Not-
will see
yeah.
that today. Later we will see that, but debating
Mhm.
about the pedagogical standards.
Mhm.
Debating, sorry. So this is a good activity. We will see what do you want to do this. We are analyzing what we need, yes? Not the skills yet. The skills that's for the task you have to do for next week. So debating about pedagogical standards. Standards and their applicability in their future profession. Okay, so you want to do this activity with your students, with future teachers, which is the prior knowledge that they need. Knowledge, what do they need to know in order to do this debating activity? Knowledge. What do you need to debate, to know?
Concept about the topic that the student develop, or
and in this case, specific case?
the pedagogical standards.
Yes, exactly. So they need to know the previous, so the knowledge, concepts about the standards, of course.
Mhm.
So they need to know the standards, the concepts developed there. What else do they need to know? Bigger. Knowledge, yes. Skills. Now we're talking about skills. Specific vocabulary we need here.
Yes.
You needed, for example, Barbara needed to know about respect for environment and respect for oneself, respect for, so specific vocabulary. Yes. Recycling, I don't know how. Skills. What about the skills? Which skills do you need to have in order to do debating? Or to have developed? Which skills should the students have developed?
Have knowledge about the better connectors and
that's here. Yes, that's knowledge, vocabulary, yes. Connectors in language, yes?
Yeah.
This is knowledge about language, okay. Okay, what else we are talking about skills, yes? So think of the skills. How many skills do we normally talk about in languages? There are sub-skills as well, but...
person have in the skills, the student need personality for from a conversation.
Yes, exactly. But you were saying something, Barbara, before about the skills. That's attitude, a good personality. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So you're going around the skills. Which are the skills? You know the main skills in the language, but there are sub skills as well, which we are mentioning here. Vocabulary, knowledge of vocabulary, knowledge of grammar are sub skills. But which are the 4 skills we always talk about in English? Because you're learners of English. We said speaking.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, speaking and
Communication. Mhm.
yeah, listening. Yeah,
Listening.
yeah, exactly. So that's an activity, yes, in which you overtly see how your students, how the students have developed their skills for listening and speaking. Impromptu, meaning in the same at the same moment when they are listening to something and they respond with something. That's the idea about the debate. But underneath, we know that our students have also developed reading and writing because they know about the topic and they have developed that knowledge. And especially with debating, you can see, for example, in different movies that when in the United States, they do these competitions of debating, students read a lot. There is a good movie with black actors that perform students from a black college, a college that accepted black students in the 1950s, probably, and how they went to compete with the most important universities and universities even that discriminated them, and how they traveled with the books because there was no internet, and so they needed to read books and also write a lot. While the debate was going on, they were writing to follow their ideas. So reading and writing is also present there, is underneath, but eventually what you see in the surface is speaking and listening. Okay, so every time you're thinking about an activity, and this is also a recommendation, a suggestion for students who are preparing this activity, short activities with the standards, you need to think of all of this. Yes, all of this, positive attitude, the willingness to participate, for example. Yes, if you're not willing to participate, then you cannot debate. Yes, so this is willingness to participate. Okay, so you answer this question. So do you think the teacher consider, so what do you think? So the teacher, every time you analyze each activity, you need to think, what does the teacher think to consider these activities? What age? Yes, if you're thinking of debating, which age are you thinking about? That's something important. We cannot, this will not be in a first grade, for sure, most probably. When will you think of debating? Which age?
12.
12, probably, yes,
Yeah.
by the end of basic school here, elementary school here in Chile. And the strong points and the weak points. Because if you decide on debating, you also need to think which are the strong points, so they will be quick in responding, listening, and analyzing language quickly and speaking a lot. But it might have some weak points. For probably if you have shy students who are afraid of making mistakes and they don't want to answer. So you always need to think of good and bad points and which problems. So which problems can you have with the debating activity? Anyone? Javiera? Which problems can you have So you come with this activity to your 8th grade students, octavo grado. But which problems can you find? But you need to think beforehand, before going to the class with the activity. Oh, I would like to do debating on recycling, for example. But which problems can we see? Can we have before going to school?
They can be close to the other opinion.
Yes, yes, exactly. They can be close to not accepting opinions. Yes. Most probably with learners of a second language, they will have, for example, shyness, not be willing to speak, afraid of making mistakes, and they seem demotivated most of the time. But also not to accept others' opinions. So that would be, even at that point, would be better than not being willing, como deseoso o decidido, to participate. Okay, so all of these questions you need to think, yes, when for this task. And this is important because this task invites you to do something. I will remind you. So you need to elaborate a chart, including the processes, for example, students' age, background, knowledge, activities objective, as Araceli said, explanation, time frame, organizational problems, behavior, so all of the things you need to so you need to have this long list and your analysis of each activity and how it is going to be suitable. So I hope you could do this. And I also gave you this idea, and here I have thought of it, yeah. Propose activities or games to develop along the semester and include them in the lesson plan that you will be one of the constituent elements of the project to be developed in groups along the semester. Remember that what I was saying before, you're thinking little by little in that project, which is here, yes. And I was asking you to think of an activity that is creative, yes, to be included in this lesson plan. So for example, mock interviews or a debate, it was a good example. And here I had this kind of debate or an interview. I was thinking of an interview, yes, in which you will develop, of course, we said speaking, a lot of speaking and listening. And you divide the students, yes, into student A, student B, and one is the specialist in English language teaching, English as a foreign language, and the other one is a teacher who is asking for an interview, asking questions in this interview, and then these interviews generally go on, they publish this in a channel in YouTube, and you can have these examples on the net. There are lots of examples. For example, with Dr. Krashen, you know how you can find the interviews that people have made with him in which they ask, of course, he's a specialist, of course, he's one of the ESL specialists that has mostly researched in language teaching and learning and acquisition. So he has a long list of interviews on the internet that you can check. And so this is a good activity, not a debate, but it's also a listening, speaking activity that you can create or develop for your final, to be included in your final lesson plan for your project. You can have others, like creating a game, what else? What else? A debate. I haven't added here, but I can add it here. debate. The Prezi option can be very much similar to a presentation, as the presentations you do, which can also be an activity in a lesson plan, a presentation about a topic. And the most important thing is that you're thinking of this. So this will be like the final activity of your previous task. And you need to upload it in the task which has been created in week 4. So this will be the last section of your last task, and you will upload it here week 4. Yes, week 4, this is about last week. Here the materials to rewrite the forum, the comments that I was talking about. And then you will add this section, this activity that you want to include in your final project. In this way, I will make sure I will give you feedback. This is for formative feedback. Moreover, you're going to see me writing the backstage of this. And the point is that you receive feedback, and I am sure you're thinking of a final project and not leaving everything for December, when you will be crazy with so many other tasks to do and to accomplish. Okay, so this is done in pairs as well. So I need to receive five activities. Do we agree? Girls, do we agree?
Yes, Miss.
Yes. Okay. Fine. Excellent. All right. That in regards the last task, and now we will start not only a new task but a new unit. So that's the end of the last unit on communicative language teaching. And this will be, we will start a new unit in which which will develop, yes, the idea of activities in listening and speaking, writing and reading. But mostly what you're doing, you're examining, you're contrasting, you're reading and listening a lot about different activities and how they can be helpful. Yes, in order to develop the skills. And here, that's why I was telling Barbara, we are talking about the integration of skills. Because remember, we are focusing a lot on this exchange of communicative ideas and the exchange of information in communicative language teaching. And of course, the integration of skills, because we tend to think, as Barbara was thinking before, that if we only develop reading, speaking and listening, then what is the common idea? We are not developing the others. And there will be a disbalance. Well, that is probably, as we saw here, not always so striking as we saw here in this activity. We were analyzing, yes, on the surface you can see speaking and listening while debating, but you know that there might have been certain reading and writing behind that, because otherwise you cannot speak or listen. So, but now we will focus a lot on analyzing activities and how they deal with the skills. There has been a lot of different proposals. There have been lots of proposals along ELT, English language teaching history, in which the development of skills has gone through different stages, focusing maybe first on reading and writing, then giving more importance to speaking and listening. And sometimes some methods have gone to extremes, as for example, grammar translation was pure reading and writing, and much more modern methods have only mostly proposed the development of reading and speaking and listening. And sometimes we go to extremes, which are not good either. But that's why you are developing an analytic eye, a teacher's eye, to discover this. Okay, so you will, so I wanted to have just some idea so that then you can do your task, your individual task. So what is integrating the 4 skills in your own words? So this is, you need this to complete your task. So which ideas do you have? What is integrating the 4 skills in your, explained in your own words? Some ideas? Come on. Integrating the 4 skills. So we said listening, reading, listening and speaking, reading, writing, and then we had soft skills, which are knowledge of vocabulary, grammar, phonetics. Okay. What is integrating the 4 skills? Some ideas because you need this. So it's good for you. Come on, Marcus. We're not punishing anyone. Barbara?
Ways to integrate the 4 skills?
Now, what is the definition of integrating the 4 skills? Definition. Integrating the 4 skills means?
Communication.
Yes, but something else. The 4 skills means what with communication? Something, an action, a verb. We need something. What do we do with communication? If we integrating the 4 skills means what? What do we do with communication there? For example, developing?
Yes, of language.
Yes, developing communication and language. And language use, yes, not only knowledge of the language. You don't study the language, you use it for communication. Yes, exactly. Okay, any other? Then you will, the more we do now, the easier then, the easier your task. Anything else? What do we do when we integrate the skills? What are we doing? I don't know. Integrating the 4 skills means how are the classes in this case if we integrate all the skills? What do you think? Making classes, how are the classes? Imagine the classes that were only reading and writing. Whereas if you integrate skills, which ideas? Making classes more, come on, an adjective. Javiera?
Speaking.
More?
Speaking.
Yes, but if you include speaking, more, we said here communication, but we would say more motivating or more interesting.
Yeah.
So imagine that before they were only reading and writing, so it was very limited. So in that sense, you would think, yes, how much more you can write, yes, and brainstorm activities that integrate the 4 skills. You already have ideas of activities that you have been analyzing since last week. okay? And explain the benefit of integrating the skills. So we have said a little bit here. So you develop communication, you develop
Participation of
participation, yes, authentic use of the language, motivating situations. And
personality also.
yes, developing your personalities, yes, and also to think of language as a unity and not as separated things, yes, units, as separated areas. But language is a unity, is one complete whole. Then you will do this activity. Probably we will watch them next week. So we are discussing class, yes. So two options, yes. No, two videos in which you will analyze what activities can you see, yes. What are the teacher's instructions and the skills that are being developed, and we will discuss more, yes, about with a critic's eyes, yes, a critical eye. How would you criticize or probably not or suggest improvements in these classes? Okay, be prepared for next Tuesday. Are you okay? Are you there?
Yes, miss.
Okay, so we will discuss about these two classes, or yes, activities. They're short, 4 or 5 minutes, and then you will read. I will upload this a reading about the integrating the importance of integrated skills, and I will upload this Word document. So you will be listening, analyzing videos, and reading, and then you will write the two options presented in the text. Yes, integrated skills means you develop all of the skills, yes, and they allow for more practice with the language. This is something positive. And segregated skills, according to the text, means when you teach skill by skill separately. Yes, for example, all those courses that only teach speaking, conversation courses. So that's only speaking, mainly speaking, and that is a segregated way of integrating skills in the classroom. So in this sense, by segregating skills, we limit the practice with the target language. And so students read about the topic, but do not speak about it, or they only speak about something, but they don't really pay attention to reading and to developing reading and listening, for example, or writing. So there are many of these courses in Talca, for example. A colleague of mine was telling me she will go to a speaking course in Talca. And so they only spoke. But probably they disregarded other skills, and that is considered segregated skills practice, and that is considered to be limited. Yes, limited practice. And if we say here that the integrated skills offer a natural approach, which can be the segregated skill situation? If this is natural, this would be the opposite.
False.
What is the opposite of natural? False, yeah, but no, not false. It's not false.
Artificial. I don't know.
Artificial, yes. Artificial approach, or artificial use of use of language. Yes, they don't use the language in real situations, but also it offers an unnatural. The opposite of natural is unnatural. Unnatural approach. So it's not natural. Yes, you do not separate. You do not separate skills like that. Yes, we don't do that in the mother tongue, and we cannot do it in a foreign language either. So the final activity is the creation of an activity, yes, for elementary school students, in which they
Miss, only activity or
Prac-
micro teaching?
no, this is one activity. Micro teaching
Okay.
will be once you have the project, the class, remember, we will, but remember, we are doing little by little.
Yeah.
So you already have a creative activity. Remember, it's a complete class that will have different activities. So you have a creative activity, and now you have an integrated activity in which students will listen, read, speak, and write. Yes, all of the skills. And here are some recommendations. For example, speaking should not be only reading, for example. Yes, in some occasions we consider speaking when they read aloud. No, that's not that's not speaking. And listening, some sort of response. Yes, it's not only listening, but doing something with that listening. Okay, and this is what you are going to upload to the forum. We'll come back to the forum again. And you think of your project. So this is in the lesson plan. One activity in your project should be an activity that integrates skills. So you're little by little adding to that final project. The final project will have the beginning of the class, the development of the class, and the conclusion of the class. So you will have different moments, and you will have also different activities. So by doing all of this week by week, we are thinking, oh, I would like to do this for my final project, and you are adding to that final project. So next class on Tuesday the 13th, for next class, you're going to revise the postings, yes, for the forums that you needed to revise and rewrite, okay?
Yes, Miss.
Then you revise the materials to complete here. So you upload your creative activity to the corresponding task. Oh, sorry. On week 4, yes, I showed you the creative task. This is a project. This is for the project. Remember, you're working towards a project. And this is in pairs. Everything you do for a project is in pairs. So take advantage of that. Project work, group work, or pair work. Yeah, so everything is a pair work. So everything is in pairs. So take advantage of this, and you are more creative. You are 1,000 times more creative when thinking with another person. So take advantage of that, which is the only group work you have, and the preparation, of course, the preparation of the preparation for every week, yes, for every week presentation. Then revise materials to complete task 4, which I have just explained. This is the creative activity for your project. Yes, so upload your creative activity to the corresponding task for feedback. So this is done. Okay, and who are preparing the presentation for next week? Eileen and Kate. I will have to write to them since they're not here today. Okay, so do we have any doubts?
No, Miss. By my side, no.
Okay, please, I will write to Liselda to connect. She needs to catch up. I need to see how she's doing, if she has any problem.
Oh.
Or if she needs any support.
I don't know, maybe then it's more easy for she see a video in the Educandos. I don't know.
Educandos, and then
Mhm.
yes, okay. It's okay. It's another option, but I need to be sure you understand everything and you know what you have to do. Okay,
Mhm.
so if you don't have any other questions, then we are ready for today. I will upload everything, so check please by the afternoon. Putting presentation on standard
3.
yeah,
Mhm.
for next class. And the
Me,
next
so
class is on October 13th.
this weekend, you will check the participation in the forum.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, with grades. Okay, grades.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay, yes. So I hope to see all your posts there, all your posts. What else? I think it's everything on my side. If you don't have any other question, we are okay.
Yeah. I don't have any question, Miss. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome, girls. So see you next class on 13th October.
We see you in the next class.
See you next class, girls.
Mm.
Have a great week. Bye-bye.
You
You
too.
teacher.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay.